yourself and be as free as you want to be. So yeah.
So how did you? I mean, you were signed. Well, you were signed to Jive RCA.
Yes.
And same label as Chris.
Yes.
Is that how you guys ran into each other?
Kind of. I mean, yes and no. We were signed there, but we ended up having the same management. Tina Davis managed Rich Girl, and she also managed Chris.
Okay.
And, we were working at the same studio as Chris one day, and I just asked him if I could come and write with him, because I know they were about to start just writing, and I was like, hey, when you write, can you come, can I write? He was like, yeah, I'm going to come and get you. So I'm like, okay. So I went and I sat in the lobby, and I waited. And I didn't think he would, but he came right out. He was like, hey, we're about to start writing, so come on. He had never heard anything I written before. I didn't have any placements ever, period. And that was 3.5 years ago. And since then, we've written 7 songs for his Fame album, 7 songs for his Fortune album together. I'm featured on She Ain't You. We have 2 duets on Fortune. And it was the beginning of my writing career. And I wrote Alicia Keys, her first single, off of her Girl on Fire album. Me and her wrote that together. Me and Chris got a song on Brandy's album called Slower that we wrote together. So it was the beginning of our writing relationship, which ended up turning into me being his artist a little while afterwards.
So Honey Boo Boo been busy since she left the group, huh?
But you know what? The writing actually started during the group. I've been writing for a minute now.
And now, that's crazy that you said that, because I didn't know that writing was like, it sounds like a session, like you guys sit around and in my world, I thought writing was you finding some secluded treehouse way out in Africa somewhere.
You can do that too.
I'm sure, but that's what I thought it was. I didn't know a bunch of people got together and they just wrote.
We did.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Honestly, that was my first time being introduced to that particular style of writing. At first it was a little intimidating, because I had to get in there with the boys and get a little dirty and get in there and figure it out. Okay. So I learned a lot.
Let's talk dirty.
All right, let's go.
What was it like starting off for you? Because I know it wasn't anything. Just to coming into how did it start for you?
Well, I've been singing all my life, but
no, I didn't know. All your life is in what?
All my
what? Come on, talk.
I've been singing. I did the Apollo when I was 10 years old.
The Apollo?
Yeah.
At 10?
At 10 years old.
So then your career started as almost like an infant.
Yeah, kind of.
Are you from a musical family?
You know what? A lot of my cousins do like gospel rap. Shout out to God's Music, God's Child. It's amazing.
Okay.
We had a gospel choir when we were younger. My dad is a lover of music. I grew up listening. I used to say, Daddy, play the Crazy Man. Crazy Man being George Clinton.
Okay.
So, just grew up listening to a lot of music. My mom sang when she was younger. But,
It's in the genes.
Yeah, it's in there. It's all in the family a
So
little
when
bit.
did someone notice that you had a talent for singing?
Well, probably around the ages of, I did Apollo at 10, but around the age of 15, I ended up opening, because I was doing shows, and I ended up opening for B2K, and I ended up meeting them, and they asked me to be in their sister group. So I was in a group called TG4. We were signed to Interscope.
I remember that. But I remember TG4, but hold on. You're skipping some parts, because you don't just go to at 10, you just don't get up and say, I'm going to be on the Apollo. What kind of support rod did you have?
Yeah, my family. Me and my mom were, I can get into it. You want to
get
into it?
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay, cool. So I was at home one day. I was with my mom. We were watching TV. And a commercial for It's Showtime at the Apollo that came on. And I was like, Mommy, I want to do that. She just looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, you wouldn't sing if I don't want you. I was like, yeah, I would. So you had to go through a series of auditions in Tampa, Florida. I'm from Haines City, Florida, so it's right between Orlando and Tampa. I went through 3 auditions for the Apollo, and I got to go on the Apollo. I won all the auditions, and I got to go on the Apollo, and I performed. It was a tie. Steve Harvey was the host at the time, and it was a tie between me and this boy group. That was when I really realized I really wanted to sing. From 10 to about 14, I just demoed. I sung anywhere that I could, whether it was a mall, a banquet, a wedding, a bar mitzvah.
How dirty? You just...
just anywhere I could sing, I would sing.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And I got my little show together. I was signed to a production company in Orlando.
At what age?
At like 14 years old, probably 13, 14 years old. And his name was Fight Rand. He had produced a lot of records for NSYNC and stuff like that. So we had a show together, and I was such a huge B2K fan at the time. I went online because I found out they were going to be performing at a high school near me. And I got the principal's number to the high school. And then I took that number to my mom. I was like, hey, so they're performing here. Can you call and see if I can open for them? She called the principal's number. The principal gave her the promoter's number. The promoter said, hey, you know what? We only have guys opening up for B2K. I think your daughter will be perfect, so you got the job. Beautiful. So I opened up for B2K when I was 15 years old. They pulled me backstage afterwards and were like, hey, we're starting this girl group, our sister group. Would you like to be in it? So they flew me and my mother to LA, probably like a couple of weeks later. Within a month or two, we had a record deal with Interscope Records. My father and my brother flew out a year later. We were out there for 4 years. I went on tour with B2K and Bow Wow on the Screen Tour too. Wow. That group lasted for a minute. It was a good experience, but it ended. And from there until about 18 years old, I went back on my grind. I was demoing records. I was dabbling and writing a little bit, but any way that I could sing or just be in the studio or be around music, I was. Rich Girl came along because my cousin, he created me a MySpace page. He was like, people are getting deals off of MySpace now. My cousin JJ, and I didn't believe him. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm gonna create you one. He created my page, put my music on there, put my pictures on there. Maybe a month or two later, Rich Harrison hit me up on MySpace saying, hey, I'm starting a group called Rich Girl. So would you like to be in it? I want to fly you to D.C. Flew me to D.C. I auditioned for him. Next thing you know, I was a Rich Girl. Probably a month later, we were signed to Jive Records. We went on tour with Beyonce, opened up for her, hired management, which was Tina Davis. One day we're working at the same studio as Chris Brown. I asked Chris, hey, can I come and write with you? He said yes. So 3.5 years later, we have placements. We wrote Strip together. We wrote Wet the Bed together. We wrote Yeah 3 times together. I'm featured on She Ain't You. 6 songs on Fame. 6 songs on Fortune. I'm featured on. I'm trying to give you the story because you was like, let's get into it.
I'm loving it, though. I'm loving it. So it sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
What did you have to give up? Because I know there was no time for. Now I understand you playing football in the parking lot, okay? Because you didn't have time to play. I got it.
I did not. But you know what, though? I was homeschooled. I ended up being homeschooled like the last semester of my 10th grade year. Okay. So that semester and then my 11th and 12th grade year, my mom has been an educator, like a 20-some-year educator. She was a dean at my high school when I was in high school. So she quit her job and became the teacher for my group, for TG4. So, I did leave school like the end of 10th grade year, but I was able to go back and like march with my class and things like that. So I still got some memories in.
Okay, well look, we are going to reintroduce your song. That was amazing. I have to say, hands down, that was like one of the most.
I tried to get it breakdown.
Yeah, you did. We're gonna step into the song Sevyn Streeter. Brand new deal, Chris Brown. We don't even know what's next. The sky's the limit with you.
Man, you know what? My faith level is so up there. It's ridiculous.
Your hustle level is up there too, I see.
Man, faith without work is dead. You gotta put the work in.
Yeah, no doubt. So listen, the song is called I Like It. What was it? Tell me a little bit about that before.
Well, I like it. I was actually, I was riding in my car in LA. I just dropped my parents off at the airport. And I heard the song in my head. I heard the lyrics. I heard the melody. I heard the beat. And I called up the producer. I called Harmony. And I was just like, I got this idea. Can you build it with me? And he was like, yeah, this is like a year ago. And he was like, yeah. So I went in with him. And I literally was like beating on the table. Right. You know what I mean? Beating on the table and saying like, okay, this is what I hear the drums go. And I would sing to him how I would hear the chords. He would play something. I would go, no. It goes, whatever. And we just pieced it together and figured it out. And conceptually, I just wrote it about love and how, love is very passionate. And that passion can go both ways. The person that you love the most can really drive you up a wall. But at the end of the day, you accept that person for who they are and you love them regardless. So that's just really what I Like It is about.
Well, you know what? You are a beautiful person, man. I'm sitting there feeling that aura right there.
Thank you.
I'm feeling like you're real helpful, really.
I'm a Cancer, so I get it on you.
We're not going to talk about that. but we're going to get into your joint, and I'm going to probably open up the phone lines because I know there's probably some, like, you've been hustling.
Man.
So you got a story to tell. So people probably call up and ask you a few questions on how you do this, because we got writers here. And,
I want to talk.
yeah, come on, she wants to talk.
Let's talk.